Everybody. Thank you so much for having me and for coming together to talk about Nicaragua. We got back less than 48 hours ago, so it's still fresh. And I could talk for hours, but what I mainly want to focus on here, because there will be more opportunities, is the overarching goal of the Sandinista Revolution of la lucha contra la pobreza, the struggle against poverty, which shows how important Nicaragua is because it's a strategy of development and community involvement that's relevant and should be modeled by the entire world, um, with socialist attributes of always seeking to improve day by day the conditions of the working class with the people's needs and voices at the forefront. So in a couple of examples of that, we were shown examples of that all throughout our experience there for 10 days, starting with the health and education systems that are free and accessible to everyone across the country, as well as people coming to the country, with the campaign of Mi hospital es mi comunidad, my hospital is my community, which not only brings people to healthcare, but brings healthcare to the people in a variety of ways, with community programs happening inside of these hospitals, with greater development of healthcare resources for the people, um, in solidarity with other countries that have come to help build up the healthcare system here, such as people from Cuba, um, as well as home visits, bringing healthcare to more at-risk communities, to elders, to women and children, to people that can't necessarily make it into hospitals to receive care. The care comes to them, and that's something that we participated in learning about, um, and seeing how grateful the people were that their health was being monitored and tracked and prioritized under the revolution, especially during the COVID pandemic, at its peak, but also still in its current iteration, where monitoring the health of the people and bringing educational resources to them about how to protect themselves and their communities was a top priority. We also learned about the energy projects happening in the country, with increased affordable access in the last decade, from less than 50% of access to electricity to now over 99.3% today. And all of that information is transparent and accessible to the people, where they can learn about where their energy is coming from and request greater resources. And we also learned about how this system is adapting to climate change and the global climate crisis, with investment in solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal energy. So we visited a geothermal plant while we were there, located at the Momotombo volcano, where we were learning about how this renewable, clean, constant energy is extracted in a sustainable way and pumped to Managua and pumped throughout the country to really keep the climate struggle at the forefront while also meeting the needs of the people. Another example was the financial investments under the Sandinistas for development, with a priority in social spending and spending on the resources and infrastructure that the people need, including hospitals and schools, parks. We visited the largest park in Central America for children, as well as investment in healthy food and potable water being pumped into communities and schools. We learned about investments that I've been talking about for climate justice on a global scale. And we learned about excitement about mutual collaboration with China and other countries that are showing solidarity with Nicaragua, for instance, with the Belt and Road program, to bring, more opportunities into the country for free trade and jobs and access to resources. And we learned about, how the added threats of sanctions are serious and scary, but emphasize the need at the same time for stronger international relations with other countries in solidarity with Nicaragua, because the Nicaraguan people will move forward despite whatever obstacles are being thrown at them, especially by the US government. We also participated in a variety of meetings with labor around the country, particularly based out of Managua, including teachers' unions and energy workers, tourism workers, even right at the top of the volcano that we visited, hotel workers right at the place that we were staying, health unions, represented by women by 80%, farm workers that take part in the ATC, and just how powerful the workers really are and how the needs of the workers are met through these unions, which are extremely prevalent and make it possible to fight for better conditions, such as pay increases that are negotiated every 6 months in the country. We did cultural touring, including learning about indigenous traditions of oral tradition and pottery, and revolutionary commemorative art of both Sandinista revolutionaries in the country, as well as heroes from around the world, such as Fidel Castro and Salvador Allende, and how this is, both an educational program as well as a beautification program, so that the people live in a beautiful place and their art and their work is on display for everyone to experience. And then, of course, we were there for the 19th as well, the celebration, the 44th anniversary celebration of the revolution. And we heard...
Mairead, 1 minute, okay.
Great, yeah. The speech that Daniel Ortega gave was both anti-imperialist and internationalist, with special recognitions given to Palestine, to Burkina Faso and other African nations, Asia, countries across Latin America. And we noticed just how powerful the youth are in the country, of being the future generation of those that are carrying out the revolution. And this experience was definitely an international solidarity experience, with delegations meeting from around the world, showing unity across borders, not only with the Sandinista Revolution, but also with struggles happening in countries across the world, to build a global working class movement. So I hope everyone here gets the opportunity to visit. Thank you for listening. It's a powerful place to be, and it gives us inspiration to continue the struggle here at home. Thank you.